Welcome. Today we are going to give an account of the second account of creation in Genesis chapter 2 from verse 4 to 25. Then we outline ways in which God demonstrated his love for human beings after the coming of sin into the world. Lastly, in reference to the Genesis stories of creation in chapter 1 and 2, we outline the attributes of God. Before we give the second account of creation in Genesis chapter 2 from verse 4 to 25, it's good we read the Bible, the Revised Standard Version, Genesis chapter 2 from verse 4 to 25. These are the generations of the heavens and the earth when they were created. In the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and no plant of the field was yet in the earth, and no herb of the field had yet sprung up. The Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was no man to till the ground. But a mist went up from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Man became a living being. And the Lord planted a garden in Eden, the east. There he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground the Lord God made the ground every tree that is pleasant, the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed out of Eden to water the garden, and there it divided and became 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pishon. It is the one which flows around the whole land of Avila, where there is gold, and the gold of that land is good. Belium and Hoix stone are there. The name of the second river is Gihon. It is the one which flows around the whole land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Tigris, which flows east of Assyria. The fourth river is Euphrates. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to till it and keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, You may freely eat of every tree of the garden, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil you shall not eat, for in the day that you eat of it you shall die. Then the Lord God said, It is not good the man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him. So out of the ground the Lord God formed every beast of the field and every bird of the air, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called every living creature, that was its name. The man gave names to all cattle, and to the birds of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper fit for him. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and while he slept, took one of his ribs and closed up its place with flesh. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from the man he made into a woman, and brought her to the man. Then the man said, This at last is bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called a woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore a man leaves his father and his mother and cleaves to his wife, and they become one flesh. And the man and his wife were both naked and were not ashamed. There are 10 points in giving the account of the second creation. So number 1, when God created the heavens, the land was barren without any life. Number 2, a mist went up from the earth and watered the ground. God formed man from dust and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. Number 4, God planted trees, including the tree of life and knowledge in the middle of the garden. The garden was watered by 4 rivers. Remember, you don't have to mention them. God put man into the garden to till and guard it. Man was commanded to eat of every tree in the garden except the tree of knowledge of good and evil, lest he dies. God created animals and birds and gave them to man to name them. God created a woman from the man's rib to be his helper. Man named her woman because she was part of his bones and flesh. And lastly, both lived as husband and wife in companionship and without shame for each other. Ways in which God demonstrated his love for human beings after the coming of sin into the world. God went looking for Adam and Eve, and even when they tried to hide from Him. Number two, God provided them with new means of looking for food. During the flood, God did not destroy all His creation, but spared a pair in each of them. God provided them with clothing. Number five, after the flood, God created Noah's family. God blessed Noah's family to be fruitful and fill the earth. He gave them power to defeat Satan when He said that the seed of the woman will crush the will of the serpent. God called Abraham to use him as an instrument to reach the whole world. God chose Israel as a nation and made a covenant with them at Mount Sinai. God raised prophets to lead the Israelites on the right way. God sent His Son Jesus Christ to die for the sins of humankind. In reference to the Genesis stories of creation in chapter 1 and chapter 2, outline the attributes of God. So here you're supposed to start with God is what? God is a creator. Or you can say God is the creator. God is the God of order. God is a worker. God is self-existent. God is personal God. He is to be worshipped. He is good, or rather you can just say He is perfect. He is a spirit. God is a moral God. Or rather you can say God is interested in human behavior. God is all powerful. God uses the power of the word to create. God is only God, or rather you can just say God is supreme. Did you understand? Kindly put your comments in the comment section below and let me know what you would have me look at tomorrow. Thanks a lot for subscribing and listening to me. God bless you.